Hey everybody, I am Adam.
And I'm Jay.
And we have some other friends here.
Graham.
James.
Nick.
Awesome, and we are going to recap our mystery box Warmachine White Elephant journey of awesome. So 3 months ago, 2 months ago-ish, something in there, we brought a whole bunch of mystery boxes full of armies and opened them up and got some toys. And the challenge was paint this up, and we'll meet up again in 2 or 3 months. I think, did it end up being 3 months, guys?
I think
it
was supposed to be
like
2, and
time.
that was my fault.
That was pretty useful, like extra money.
I
thought that was all right.
I had nothing painted at that point. So that's
So it's a good thing I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So the challenge was paint this up in what became 3 months, and then we'll play a bunch of games with them. And so you guys get the pleasure of watching our journey unfold. For you guys, this is the second episode. We've posted a couple works in progress, but not much. But now you get to see the completed armies, which is what we'll be talking about today. What has the last few months been like for us? Why did we paint the things the way that we did? And we can talk about some cool techniques that we had. And then we can also talk about what we're anticipating coming up as we start to play games. So there you go. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Who wants to be first on the chopping block to talk about their experience?
Sure.
Yeah, Nick, go for it.
down the line. Right?
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? You want me to say my choices, some of the decisions I made?
Start off general. What was it like?
To start off, it was hard to paint something else other than 40K.
Yeah.
I wasn't super excited about it. I was getting them together. It was different, just like the size and the models are all a little different. So I found like the building of them to be a difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got them like based and got some colors in there, it actually started to become a ton of fun. These are really like good models. It's just something different, right? It's you get to try a different style, or just try a couple different techniques.
Totally.
Sweet. So kind of like grinding the gears to get started.
Yeah, totally.
And once you got into
Totally.
first gear, you just kind of took off.
Yeah.
All
That's the way I mostly looked at this. I wanted to try a couple new things. Try to keep it quick. So I did like a Vallejo metal like base color. Did some enamel washes from I think like AK Interactive or MIG ammo washes, and like just tried to grunge them up a whole bunch. Did white and then scale 75 inks to like create that glow, which is super bright.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be so vivid, but it actually was a lot of fun to play with. And then just like my standard kind of base, this is a very similar base to my like Space Wolves. But yeah, everything I did, I tried to do it like pretty quick throughout the army. I think the biggest thing was this was a lot faster because I had an airbrush. So like, if I had one suggestion for people who want to paint like a lot of models quick, if you can like afford it in space and in like cost, get an airbrush. Super helpful for that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You guys got any questions for Nick over here?
What was your, inspiration for the color scheme?
Yeah, the green, I wanted to keep it slightly similar to how it looked in the art, right? I didn't want to go too crazy, but I also haven't painted with a green before. And the metal is just because I wanted to practice metal, like the Vallejo metal color in like washes, so that when I make a knight or something, back to 40K, I'll have like a good style for that metal and then able to grunge it up.
No, it's definitely a good thing to try and practice new techniques with models you're not used to normally painting.
Yeah.
Because that way when you do the ones, like you said, you're more enthusiastic about, you have experience with that technique or whatever, and can do it.
Totally, and this is like a small.
I almost said could do a better job, but those look freaking amazing.
Thanks, man.
And like, it's good that you added all the weathering, because like without it, the model might look a little bland, right? So you
Totally,
kinda got
absolutely. The weathering almost creates its own shadows and highlights. So I didn't, like, you guys were all talking about highlighting over the past like day.
This did not all come together the last minute. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I was like, I haven't highlighted anything on this beyond like a zenithal, just an airbrush highlight, and that's okay. I mean,
totally.
it's just a different style of doing it.
Yeah. Talk to me about how you did your rust. I really like your rust effect.
Yeah, so the rust is Ryza Rust, which was that the GW like
Sounds
dry brush
familiar,
one?
yeah.
Ryza Rust. And then I went over with it was like an AK enamel kind of wash or enamel rust, and just kind of grimed it up like that. I think I used enamel rust and then an enamel like engine grime.
Cool.
With enamel spirits to kind of wash it into the crevices, and like again, anytime you see it being like dripped down is like just a streak, and then you use like a thinner to basically feather that out so it becomes nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Enamel paints are awesome to work with because you have a super long time. You can use the thinner on them for almost, enamel's a little less than oil, but you can use it for half an hour, an hour afterwards, even longer sometimes, and you can fix your mistakes. Yeah.
Sweet. That's great.
Thanks.
All right.
Are you up next?
Sure, I could go next.
Yeah.
All right, so I was doing the Retribution of Skyra, and I actually pretty much went off my color scheme. I don't know if you guys remember from the first video, but I actually had just a couple of jacks from Retribution previously, and I went off that inspiration from my old color scheme. So really gray, muted pastel-y colors with just purple glowy bits. But before, again, I also did not have an airbrush, and now I do. So just built up some nice gradients for the grays. I also wanted to do this super quick. It's a good thing. This is why I like doing other little miniature games, is because it's a great way to just practice techniques, but also push yourself in a certain area. So for me, speed is always something that I'm good at, but to then again push myself in that area and find out little new techniques to do things even faster, this is a good way to do it. So just airbrush gray every single model, working up from dark to light, and then coming in with the sponge chipping on all my warjacks with a brown and then a really bright silver, and then gloss varnished everything. And then for all the jacks, I did the panel line wash, and for all the infantry, I just used like a mix of Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade wash over everything after base coating them. And then I came in on all the jacks. It was pretty easy. I just did the metals for any of them that had blades and swords. And then painted gems on all. There's a lot of gems. So
There's
a ton of gems.
especially this big dude.
Yeah, on the back of it even there's a crap load.
Yeah, I should probably spend like an hour and just count how many gems there are.
Take you an hour.
Yeah, it would take an hour. There's probably, I would say, about at least 100 gems on this thing. And so painted all the gems turquoise, and then the glowy bits purple, because that was basically my original color scheme before. And then the infantry, I said I slacked on them a little bit to the guys off camera, and they
look good.
You like them?
They look good.
So
Yeah.
what came out?
Your slacking is still above most
Yeah.
abilities.
So basically what I did was I wanted to work the airbrush base coat as much as possible, and I think what came out of it was a very, almost like anonymous feeling, like ninja, like look to it, where just everything was really muted, and then the nice beige frills for the fur on their cloaks, and then I worked up the turquoise for their kind of, I don't know, their skirts, with a beige for the highlight to keep that pretty pastel-y and warm as well. And it just kept this theme of this really like muted, and then because their faces are all covered, I highlighted those up to white, and it just created this really like, I don't know, eerie, like silent ninja feel to them, which is really cool. Spent a little extra time on my Warcaster, just making the gems look a little nicer and the skin look a little nicer, and I stole your inspiration for the purple flowers. Thought it'd be a great idea. I had this variety pack of Gamer's Grass flowers, and was like, I'll just put a variety pack on there. But then you posted your pictures, and all you had was purple flowers, and I had purple on my models. I was like, fine,
Yeah.
just load them up with purple flowers.
It's a great accent.
Yeah.
Well, and because it's predominantly purple as the only real color other than the grays, the purple flowers just bring everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't know how to say that.
Some nice unity, top to bottom.
Unity's the best word. Yeah.
I went a different. I put some cork on my bases, and went a little different than I normally do. Normally, I would like differentiate that color a lot more. to be like a gray rock, but I figured because I had so much gray on the actual models, I needed to do something different. So I made them more like sandstone, beigey. Yeah, that was neat. So there you go.
What was the toughest part about painting these models?
Man, so just getting these infantry base coated drove me nuts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Those don't look easy to paint.
No, they weren't. And they like on the backs. I'll just turn these around. We'll show you a zoomed in shot later. But on the backs, they have these like tiny little line pattern on their cloaks.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, what do I do? It's like, oh, I'll just throw one highlight on it and see if I can get away with that. And it actually turned out really cool because it kept kept it in the same theme. I didn't have to like make it pop or stand out, and it just added to that like.
You could have, but you didn't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was coming up with a new mixture for my purple glow, because my Luna Wolves have a purple glow in all their plasma stuff and power swords, and I just like the tone of this purple a lot better. I used one of the scale 75 purples as the starting point, and so kind of figuring out that little bit more rich on the purple side. My Luna Wolf stuff can look a little too pink depending on where I go with it. But the purple tone is a little more rich on this. So I like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look good, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, they look awesome.
All right, Jay, what are you
Down?
doing? Yeah, why not?
All right. Sounds like my hobby journey was pretty similar to yours, Nick, actually. At the beginning, I was not... Actually, the next day we got home from opening the mystery boxes, I was all about putting these things together. And then after that, it was like, I can't be bothered. I want to play with my Iron Warriors, or I want to play with my Orcs, or, you know, like, yeah. But they are awesome models, and I'm really glad that I got these, even though I wasn't looking to play Scorn. It wouldn't have been my first choice. I think they're really cool.
Right, Nick was
Yeah, Nick was basically
It's all his
screwing us
fault.
all
Sorry,
out of, well, a couple of us wanted Cricks, so whatever, it is what it is. But I am happy that I got the only Hordes faction in the mix, because when we did play this a million years ago, I played Hordes, so that was...
And how can you not like multi-armed elephant dudes?
Yeah,
It is pretty cool.
Covered in armor.
It is pretty cool. Well, that's
Or
exactly it,
Hydra.
right? So, how you were saying you wanted to keep the glow, like the stuff in the artwork and on the boxes and stuff. I wanted to do the same thing. Like I wanted it to be different, but I kept the skin that like gray tone because I thought, you know, they might have different colored armor, but they're still going to be the same.
Same people.
The same people, right? Yeah, exactly. Plus this thing, holy crap! As much as it was really fun to paint, it was also much harder to paint than all the other guys.
How was
I think it was just sheer surface area that was the issue.
How was the assembly? I've heard that thing's really hard to assemble.
Yeah, so this guy, I was missing part of the instructions, so I spent quite a bit of time dry fitting random pieces. Because each one of these necks, like this one neck here is like 8 pieces. Like they're all little like 3 armor panels at a time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the little centipede arms were all kind of one piece, and then the backs was kind of like 3 or 4 different, you know what I mean?
What's the name of this thing?
I don't remember.
Okay.
We'll have to find out when I pull up my cards later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
these
they were
guys were
great.
wicked fun, and I love the fact that they were solid plastic, like literally a block
Yeah.
of solid plastic, as opposed to like, you know, most of the multi-part GW kits are hollow, and even if they are large pieces like that, they'll do them in 3 or 4 separate pieces that
Yeah.
snap together with the peg and socket deal, right? Whereas this was just literally like one block of plastic. Like
Right.
he weighs
Yeah.
so much more than most metals this size from other miniature lines.
Feels nice just holding something substantial
Yeah,
in your hand.
totally. Well, coming from when this used to be all pewter.
Yeah. Is
Right?
it, yeah,
Like
it's
my
not
Trollboys
quite as-
army was all metal, and they were all this size. So like,
That would have been rough.
even the infantry were the size of the light war beasts, right? Like
Yeah.
they're
It's-
big. They're
it's
big
not quite
boys.
a
Those
sock
Trollboys.
dreadnought?
Yeah, not quite, but I've actually considered buying those all pewter dreadnoughts just for the weight factor. But paint wise, you were saying you wanted to try the new Vallejo wash. You use Vallejo washes, you said?
These ones are different ones, yeah, but I use some Vallejo metal color on them.
Oh, the Vallejo metals, right? So same thing. These are all Vallejo metals. So the warpainter.com hooked me up with a nice set of Vallejo colors, and I thought I really liked the metals on my Chaos models, so I thought I would try every metal color that he gave me. So as you can see, there's 3 or 4 different shades of brass. There's gold, there's silver, You know what I mean? I tried to use literally every metal color I had in that set just to try them out and see how they work out. Again, not new techniques, but new paints. So, you know, just to see the difference in consistency, the difference in pigment, coming from using Citadel for 20 years. Yeah, Vallejo's a different animal altogether.
Were they the metal colors that were in the slightly bigger bottle with the black top on it?
No, it was still the normal droppers.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was the game color you sent me. Yeah, so there would be the equivalents of the Citadels.
Nice.
From 15 years ago.
From 15 years, yeah, the old Citadel paints, that's right, before they changed them 3 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've gone through 2 different ranges since. But yeah, pigment's definitely a lot stronger, so it was a lot easier to cover the surface area, I found. Whereas with GWs, I have to do like 3-4 coats on a large gold area like this back plate here. This I only had to do 2, you know? It's just not nearly as splotchy or streaky.
Yeah.
Probably because the pigment was that much stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
Jay, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Why go blue instead of red? Why stray from the norm?
Well, blue is my favorite color.
Oh,
And I
okay.
enjoy painting blue more than any other color for some reason. Like you were saying, you love painting red. I love painting blue. Every time I paint blue, it looks amazing. Even if you do the most basic, it always looks amazing. Purple, too, is like another one. I just love painting. Why I painted my Wild West stuff purple. Because I was like, you know what? Purple looks awesome.
Nice.
No matter how you do it, it always looks awesome. And I'm not the kind to just paint how the box says to paint, you know? So I actually found it funny before we started this video that I was looking at James's stuff here, and they're normally blue, and he painted them red, and mine are normally red, and I painted them blue.
Did you guys pre-arrange that? You guys got
No.
together? And, yeah,
It just kind of worked out that way, which is actually
Or
really cool.
did he bribe you?
No.
He wants some poker money in Vegas, I figure.
There you go. There you go. You take the blue. I don't want to paint blue. No, yeah, it's just because I love painting blue.
Cool.
It looks amazing, always.
Talk to me about your bases. You know, straight up grass.
Yeah, standard bases I
Yeah.
do for pretty much everything. I think the only army I have that I did different, well, I guess I would have to take that back. My Wild West stuff I did desert, my Malifaux stuff I did with the dead grass, right? But pretty much everything else is this, other than my orcs, which is just straight gray. Mainly because
matches the table you've been working on for the last.
Well, so there you go. Also, yeah, I'm building that table technically for the Hog Towner, but with Age of Sigmar and Warmachine or Hordes in mind.
Nice.
Right? So yeah, grassland table with ruins and trees and rocks and water features. So yeah, I feel like that's the theme of Hordes. Like I say, you guys are in the Iron Kingdoms fighting over all your steampunk machines and stuff, and I'm out there in the woods just doing my thing.
Just taming elephants.
Crapping in the
Yeah,
woods.
taming monsters and what was that?
Just taking dumps in the.
There you go.
If an elephant takes
Yeah.
a dump in
Yeah.
the
Does
woods,
an elephant
and no
shit
one
in the woods?
is around, does it still make a noise?
Depends on how many arms it has.
Yeah, that's a lot of arms to wipe with.
Get real clean. Sweet. Any other things to add?
I don't know. I mean, like I say, the models were relatively easy to put together, but I did notice a couple of detail issues that I fixed very quickly with some filing and just kind of working my paint job to make it look like there's detail where there actually wasn't any.
Yes,
But
tough.
I mean, for starter set models, they were great, and other than the fact that this guy was 1,000,000 pieces, it was actually pretty easy to assemble all of these.
Nice.
And that's it.
James, you up, man? Tell us about your journey.
All right, so this is the first army I've painted from start to finish.
Woo!
With my own
Yeah.
paint scheme and colors and everything. The reason I chose these colors is because they were pretty much the only paints I actually owned to
There you go.
use. So it made my choices pretty simple. The one word advice I'll give is just commit to your plan. If you start something, just finish it and commit to it and accept it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The models were tough to build because of the shoulders being so rounded. Like it was a sphere that you have to glue a flat thing to. So it was difficult
weird.
to learn how to do that.
So they weren't ball and socket as such. They were like,
It's a very
so,
light
yeah.
socket
So like
sometimes.
the shoulder
Yeah,
is
very
just
shallow.
a rounded shoulder and it's a flat arm
Yeah.
joint that you're attaching to it.
weird.
Huh.
So it made gluing, you had to sit there for a while till it actually dried
Yeah.
to have it sit. I tried the, not the Martian Iron Earth, but the other technical paint that GW has for the bases.
Yeah.
And
I
just
think it's
Growling
a Growling.
Badlands.
Yeah.
glob it on and it actually cracks itself and gives
Yeah.
you some texture.
It's a super easy one
Yeah.
to use, and it looks great every
Yeah.
time.
I tried to paint white for the first time. Don't advise it. It's not a fun thing. Neither are faces. Poor Beth over here. No, just looks like she had a bad night out.
I do. Walk of shame.
Otherwise, highlighting, probably the world's shakiest hand for highlighting, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. These are cool models, and once the finished product came out, I'm actually pretty happy.
Totally.
Proud of the models, so.
Should be.
Yeah, the thing that I like best about yours, James, is it looks so good as one cohesive unit.
Mhm.
Like the whole thing together looks fantastic. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
If you could give like 3 months ago, James, some advice, what would you say?
Start sooner and take more time painting. This
Spend
was-
more
Wise
time on
advice,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
good.
was a pretty rushed job, but it turned out okay.
Yeah. I like I like that the wash is glossy, so your armor panels look like they're just shiny. Yeah, this is good.
Clean.
Yeah.
I've never dry brushed before. I could have probably added some elements of dry brushing to just give like an extra shade in there, but didn't even want to attempt it after I put white on a model and called it a day.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, don't dry brush white.
No.
Yes.
No.
But I like that it has that crisp, clean look, because
Yeah.
that's kind of the Signar, is that the name
Yeah.
of it? Yeah.
I thought
I
about
almost
dumping
forgot
a
the
box
name
of dust onto them
Signar,
too, because they're
Signar.
electric. I figured like lint
Oh, yeah.
would just.
That's
Interesting.
funny.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That might just look
It's not
nice.
something everyone considers.
Yeah.
Just empty the dryer on
Yeah.
top of your models.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but you think they would keep their armor clean, like we were saying, they're the Ultramarines of the game.
Right,
I think,
right, right.
So, yeah, I like it. Looks good.
Sweet. Graham.
Yeah, I guess it's me. Yeah, it was a real journey. Bit of a detour from the usual like 40K kind of element. I like the scale of these guys. I thought they were like pretty user friendly. It's not like overly detailed. I saw the amount of like sheer just flat surface on all my guys, and I knew immediately that I would need an airbrush. So thank you, Chaz, for letting me use your airbrush. Yeah, so I wanted to do this like smoldering metal look because pretty much everyone in my army has fire themed things. My caster's like a flamethrower fire bat dude. So I wanted to get like a deep smoldering black and red kind of build up. So yeah, it was successfully done with an airbrush, which was super sweet. I don't know what the hell I would have done if I had to do it by hand. It would have been a miserable experience.
That would be a nightmare.
So yeah, that was kind of my theme, color-wise. A lot of the fun with these models actually came in posing them because like the static box posing is like really awful looking. So I actually like spent some time on the big guy. Like this guy here with the little shield and sword combo has like a pretty alternate pose, just like cutting things and repositioning and stuff. I think I like building models more than I like painting them. But you know, I kind of put my own little spin on them.
Yeah.
And good on you for doing that.
Yeah, sure.
Straight up, I'm also a kit basher converter. I love building a lot more than I do painting.
Yeah.
And, even just trying to change it up from the box pose.
Mhm,
You don't
yeah.
even have to be adding other bits or anything. It just
Mhm.
goes a long way.
Yeah, my caster has like a weird pose where he's like holding up a book and like not looking at it and like waving his thing around, and I was like, that looks awful. I'll just make it look like he's putting it down, like
Yeah, that's cool.
he's about to do something serious.
No time to read. I gotta fight.
Yeah.
Is that your first time airbrushing?
Yeah, like I got a lot of help from Chaz, so.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
Oh yeah, if I could afford an airbrush, I would buy
Yeah,
one.
totally.
The investment cost is obviously
Yeah,
a
it's-
concern, but depends on what you're doing too. Like, if you're doing like a lot of this stuff where it's all flat surface, that's great. Like, my other army for Sigmar I'm gonna paint is Skaven, and I can't imagine really airbrushing Skaven other than like the broad stuff and then kind of going into doing all the details. So, a bit of a difference in model that I usually go for. So.
Well, yeah, because they wouldn't be all one solid color. You'd be
Yeah, exactly.
Many
right?
different
Like,
textures.
Yeah, going in and doing details like by hand and stuff. And I like spending like time on one model and then going from model to model. And I feel like I might not have done this as much with these guys. I kind of just blazed through it, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally batch painted this entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's good to practice that though, right? Because that takes a certain skill set to plan out what your batch is, and then like I think that's a good thing to practice.
Yeah,
That's probably how you paint fast, is that you've got a process.
Yeah. Well, I batch paint everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but as you know, my armies are massive infantry armies usually, so I kind of have no choice. But yeah, you want speed. Yeah, this guy knows all the tricks.
Yeah.
What did you use for your base?
Oh, I was gonna buy that same thing, and then I accidentally bought the wrong one in the store. And so I was just like, whatever. I did it like a couple nights ago. I've been pretty busy this week, but yeah, if I had like some purple flowers or whatever, I would have stuck them on there. Or like, like some charred rock, or I don't know, some little fire effects. But I knew I wanted to do a desert, because these guys are like desert themed too. I think they live in like a desert, and the idea of like, fire in like a desert makes sense to me. So yeah, whatever. Otherwise I would have been doing like a magma base, but that I don't know. I don't really like them, to be honest. So like, yeah, whatever.
Cool.
Sweet. All right, let's talk about what are we expecting as we play these games for the first time, and what are we anticipating? And are we excited? Are we nervous? What's going on when it comes to playing this new game?
I think the first turn is going to take a really long time.
Yeah.
And then it'll be okay after that.
It's like 7th Ed in Warhammer, trying to learn 7th. Just looking through the rule book constantly, trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, because you didn't play in 7th?
No, but like rule referencing, because half of like the little abilities and little symbols on the cards that all do something different.
I've noticed that with this edition now they've changed a lot of the things to icons as opposed to just like written on the card.
Knowing what each of these icons does, and
so there's going to be a lot of flipping through the rule book, for sure. But luckily they gave us one of those nice little rules digests with one of these, so we each have a little nice. I like the little paperback, tiny ones.
I'm gonna find it interesting playing with the cards. I didn't get a full set of cards with my boxes, so I might try to use part of the app. I don't know. It's just a different way of playing, right? Usually, playing other games, it's you're not. Sometimes you don't have cards, or maybe the app's made by a third party.
Right.
Nobody uses a third-party app for building their armies.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious. I'd be curious how good this app is, and if it's going to make my experience better or not.
I didn't even know there was an app.
Yeah, they're apparently gonna charge me if I want some cards. So we'll see if it's worth it. Yeah, we'll see if it's worth it.
I don't know.
Or just print them online, folks.
Yeah.
Or that.
Can you download them from Privateer?
Yeah.
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 Better yet,
okay.
just get the like, find the card online and then just write it all down on a piece of paper.
Sounds like
every time.
a little like
PDF
too much
free.
time investment.
I'm pretty sure I did that at some point with this game. Yeah.
PDF is free now.
Probably
They
do that
legit
today.
give you the
Yeah.
card.
Well, I mean, ink ain't.
That's true. That's why I usually don't have it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'll print it for you.
Today's
Anytime
economy,
you need, bro.
printing. Jeez.
do a printer at work. Just
Work.
just email it to yourself. No, fair enough.
Nothing like stealing stationery.
So what about that game that we're supposed to play?
Yeah. I'm excited to see some monsters and robots just throw down.
Oh.
The cool thing about this is basically every model has more than one wound, and so there's not a lot of stuff where it's you walk up and one shot it's dead, right?
No, so you got a unit and Graham got a unit.
Yeah.
So they're all one shot.
Well, his are
No,
five.
this guy.
five wounds.
I actually have health on these guys.
Really?
Yeah, and they go
Huh.
ape shit when they get hurt.
But they function as a unit, not a...
Yeah, they function as a unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
They all go at the same time.
Yeah, they all have 5 damage apiece. It's
Wow.
weird. Model A,
Big
Model
boys.
B,
Yeah.
Model C.
Yeah, and they're almost as big as your light warjacks. So.
Yeah.
So also what's different about this game, and I mean for the folks, a lot of you guys haven't played it, is there's a lot of different like combos that you can do. Each guy is built with different abilities, and so I'm excited to see you guys explore a miniature game like that, basically for the first time, because it's going to be totally different from what you're used to. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're used to that with Malifaux a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's all cards right there in front of you.
That's right.
And it's all about synergies between your models. So this seems like a very similar animal for sure.
Yeah. And I'm excited to use this.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things weren't around when I played it.
What the heck does
Who's
this
this
guy
guy?
do?
A decade ago.
Yeah. Who do you think has like the heaviest one?
I don't know. Let's all throw them at Graham's head and see what happens.
Mine's pretty light. Mine's pretty light. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
mine's
pretty-
pretty
like
light.
mine's surprisingly light.
Yeah.
Yours is really light.
Yeah.
Because they actually are hollow.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
Jay's is pretty heavy.
This guy is hollow. Yeah.
Could you imagine yours?
Well,
was-
mine doesn't have a large cavity in the center like yours.
I think yours is the heaviest, bro.
Probably because it's all these little
And the spikiest.
fiddly
And the
pieces.
spiky.
Imagine that was pewter and spiky.
If that was pewter, I wouldn't
It's like
even
a weapon.
attempt to assemble it. As much as I love playing with
Yeah.
pewter models, this would be a nightmare if it was pewter.
Crazy.
You'd need a
It's bad enough in plastic.
You need a servo harness just to
Yeah,
pick
totally.
it
I
up.
would need
dude.
4 arms just to hold the shit together while other shit.
I think that's the coolest big dude, though. I think
Yeah,
that's
for
the,
sure.
the best model.
I like your guy.
This
I think
guy?
he's got some real like aesthetic
Yeah.
charm.
I definitely
Nick's
wanted
Warcaster is
those
pretty
ones.
sweet.
Orchestra's alright.
What did you say about it earlier?
No,
Not camera worthy.
no, looked good.
Right on.
This is gonna
Yeah.
be sweet.
Cool. So, hey guys, get ready for battle reports to come out in the future. We are promptly going to set up a couple tables and just do some practice games to have fun and explore. And then, and shortly after that, you guys will start seeing battle reports come out in the future as we just learn
Learn
about
games
the
with each
game.
other.
Yeah. So, is that it? We done?
Yeah.
Let's play. Drink beer.
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. Guys, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you like that, jump down there, hit subscribe, like and all the things, and share it, whatever. We'd love also, if you want to see more of these videos in the future, go down there and support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a video. You can support everything we do here at the channel, including fun campaign things like this. And you get special perks for that too, like discounts at online retailers and more perks coming out in the future, we'll see, as well as exclusive content. So,
Also, if you don't want to support us every month, check out one of these t-shirts. Our Spreadshirt page, Encounter Wargaming. Check us out on Spreadshirt. And for a couple bucks, you get yourself a sweet shirt. Gives up a couple bucks to keep these videos going.
bam.
And that's it.
Awesome. So that's it for today, guys. We'll see you at our next encounter.
Like a monkey in a rock